in standing poses, so often the front leg has tightness in the inner groin muscles, well, the back leg as well. And in order to accommodate the action required, this external rotation of the front leg and strengthen the back leg, we need to both strengthen and elongate the inner groin muscles to stabilize the pelvis. When the pelvis stabilizes, the spine elongates and aligns. In this practice, we'll start on our belly. You may wish to use blocks or a blanket, or if you have it, a bolster. Let's get right to it. As if you're doing a lying down version of Virabhadrasana 2 on your belly, we'll have blocks to the right so that that can support the bent right knee, and the left leg will be straight. So come to your belly, place your right knee on your blocks. Adjust the blocks so that your right knee and your right foot are settled on the block. You'll notice that the right hip is high. Come down to rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Take just a moment to adjust. If something feels uncomfortable, make modifications. Move your left straight leg over to the left side as if to create that form of Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2 pose. If you wish, straighten your arms and extend them over your head and park your forehead on a pillow or a blanket. I'm keeping my head lifted so that the sound doesn't get muffled. Whichever way you choose to extend your arm or stack your hands to create a pillow for your forehead. Just relax your neck. With your right knee bent, with your right toes engaged and spread, with your left leg out to the left side, you might want to tuck your left toes under to engage the left leg more. With the right hip lifted more than the left, see if you can bring your right ribs slightly closer to the mat. Lift your left ribs and extend from the pelvis to the knee as if you're trying to grow your thigh bone. So the inner knee is pressing against the block. You're working to get this extension. Now we'll do that in pulsing actions. In other words, you'll just release. Now engage your toes and extend from the pelvis to the knee as if you're trying to grow that thigh, reaching the knee away from you. Draw your right ribs down. See if you can get a lift in quality with your left ribs. And now just release. Just soften. We'll do this 2 more times. As you extend from the pelvis to the knee, bring your right ribs down, your left hip lifts, and you release. One more time, a strong engagement where you extend from the pelvis to the knee, the toes are very active, the back leg is lifting. You're drawing the right ribs down, the left ribs up, and release. Now come out of the pose in all fours position with your knees as wide apart as the mat is. Draw your pelvis back to your heels or toward your heels. We work to soften the right ribs down, the lifted right ribs down. Now let's use this pose to keep a nice elongation to the sides of the body by walking your hands over to the left. Now see if you can make your right hand taller than your left. Just inch your fingers a little bit more, a little bit higher than the left hand. And make sure your right sit bone does not leave your right heel. Relax your head. Enjoy the breath. Let the breath expand through the side body. Now come back to the center position and create your setup for the left side. When we learn to work with these various muscles to refine our poses, you find that just following a few rules creates so much more freedom. These rules of alignment allow for a nice opening in these poses. First, you have to surrender. So let's come to your belly. And as you do, take your left knee to your blocks and adjust the blocks so that you've got full support of your shin and your foot. Now stack your hands or reach your hands forward, your choice. Walk your right foot just to the right side so you're in the form of the pose, Warrior Two. Begin the engagement by tucking the toes under on the right foot, by spreading the toes on the right foot and the left foot. Now we'll do these 3 actions where we engage fully and then release. So the 3 actions are to extend from the pelvis to the knee, draw the left ribs down, the right ribs up, and keep the engagement of the legs. Now just release out of that. That was number 1. Let's do that again. As if you're trying to slide your left knee away from the pelvis, extend so fully. Draw your left ribs down, lift your right, and engage the legs so fully. And you'll notice how this is starting to affect the inner groin muscles. Now you can release. We'll do one more engagement, then release. Draw from the pelvis to the kneecap as if sliding the knee. Draw from the left ribs down, lift your right ribs up, just through the breath. Now re-engage the legs with the right toes tucked under, the left toes active. Have all of those actions, those 3 actions on this 3rd time, engage fully and release. Come back to child's pose. Take your knees wide apart. Take the inner big toes together. Walk your hands over to the right side. Inch your left hand just a little bit further than the right. Settle your left hip down toward your left heel. Invite fullness in your breath. Come back to the center position. Lift yourself up to come to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Place your hands at your hips and rise up. Yoga provides these rules of engagement. We follow the rules and we find so much more freedom in the pose. So let's step wide. As you step wide, place your hands right at your hips. Draw your elbows in toward each other to get nice openness in the upper chest. Now turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. So just as we did when we were lying on our belly, that you're extending from the pelvis to the knee to get this nice length. Yet at the same time, drawing the feet in toward the midline so that you can get more expansion from the pelvis to the knee. Reach your arms up and over your head so we can continue that expansion of the side body, keeping the back leg strong, softening more in the front leg. Release your hands down. Come to the full form of Virabhadrasana 2. This pose that you've been doing ever since your first yoga class, just refine. The yoga practice allows us to continue to draw a little bit deeper into the actions of the poses so that our practice becomes refined. We align ourselves so fully to the divine form of these poses. Now inhale and lift yourself up out of the pose. Take your hands right to your hips. Parallel your feet. Turn your left toes out. Bend your left knee. As you engage both legs, you're hugging in to the midline of your stance so that you can expand out. From where? From the pelvis to the knee. Now get more length through the side body by reaching your arms up. Spread your fingers. Enjoy the fullness of the pose as you release your hands down. Take your gaze out over your extended hand. From the strength of the back leg, from the elongation of the left bent knee, can you drop in a little bit deeper while still reaching your left knee out more fully to come to the fullness of the form. Keeping the back leg strong. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your hands. Step your feet to Tadasana with the feet hip distance apart with a strong and rooted stance. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the expansion. Enjoy the opening of the pelvic area. Once the pelvic is aligned, you find the spine elongates, becomes more flexible, and you feel the ease in the poses. Namaste.